Alright YouTube, so we have our frame for the footing. So I'm gonna make a footing 6 inches deep, 5.5 more or less. So this is leveled, it's 5 by 3. The reason I made it 5 by 3 because I'm getting a stand that's 2 feet tall, but I'm not sure how deep it is, so it's probably more than 2 feet deep. So I want the footing to be like enough in width, and I also want a little bit of space here so you can see my mark here, so I can. So because all the connections will be here, I want at least 16 inches to work on it, and then we need the electrical to actually move. So what I'm gonna do is, there's a 40 amp line coming in, and this is only 15 amp, and it's actually using like usually less than 7 or 8 on a heavy load. Anyway, so I actually sacrificed this line and I used it for this 9,000 BTU unit, but I'm putting here a 36,000 BTU, so 3 ton. So I'm gonna use again this line, this electrical connection, and I'm gonna move it back here where it was originally, so because it cannot be behind equipment. And I'm going to move this and put it in my shed, I think. And anyway, so I'm gonna repipe this. I'm gonna have to use a new pipe, and my bedroom will be actually an 18,000 BTU unit. Just I don't know why, because this is 9,000 and it's working perfect, but because I can, I guess. And so the reason I'm actually doing this is so I can run the second line upstairs, because the cold air doesn't rise, and so upstairs is not air conditioned. So I'm gonna run a second line upstairs. That's gonna be our cooling for the second floor, and then the third line I'm gonna run into that bedroom right there. You can see the window in the corner. So 3 zones, one will be 18,000 BTUs, 112 for that bedroom, it's much smaller, and 9,000 just for cooling upstairs, because there's plenty of heat going upstairs. Yeah, so again I'm getting a stand that's 2 feet tall, because I'm gonna use this for heating, and we want to be above snow level. So I might actually even use some spacers to bring it even higher. You can see this thing is like 4 feet off the ground, and so is this one. So this one is staying, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move it over there. There's a lot of rotation and castling. But yeah, we're starting with a good foundation here. So we have some concrete over there. That's definitely not enough. I need to run and buy more. And so we'll continue once I'm pouring concrete. Okay, so here I start mixing the concrete, and at first I was grabbing the bags and putting dumping the concrete inside the mixer, but because the space over there was so tight, I was constantly hitting my mini split that you see right behind me with the shovel, and so that wasn't working out too well. And so later on I just grabbed a 1-quart mixing cup, plastic mixing cup, and I just started putting the concrete inside the mixer with that mixing cup. And that made the life a lot easier. So I would just pour water in a mixer first, and then just add as much concrete as I needed after I reached the needed consistency. Yeah, and that worked out much better, made the job much easier. It does look like, you know, a lot of work, but it's actually really, really much easier than doing it by dumping the whole 80-pound bag right inside the mixer. Especially like I have to work around that form and try not to trip or not to fall inside of it, and try not to hit my heat pump with the shovel. Alright, so here's my helper. He's gonna load 2 of them actually. They're gonna load 5 bags of concrete. Yeah, and occasional smoke breaks. But anyway, this actually went better than expected. And as I mentioned in a text note before, so in total I used about 12 bags of concrete, maybe 12.5. And you can calculate this on our concrete calculator. So I'll put a link in the description below so you can know exactly how much concrete to buy. But usually just buy 1 extra bag just in case. So this is it. Alright YouTube, so our 3x5 footing is ready. It's not super smooth, but the most part it is smooth. Like I can go with the trowel, you know, for ages here, but it's not really necessary, because the only purpose of this footing is to hold a 300-pound 3-ton mini split, ductless mini split compressor. So a guy like this, but 3 times the size. Actually more than 3 times the weight, because this is like 70 pounds or 80 pounds, and this is 3/4 of a ton. So that one is about 4 times the weight and 4 times the capacity. Alright, so again it's leveled, and we used 2x6 boards, just so it's thicker, with reinforcement inside, metal mesh. So now we just let it cure, and that's it. In a couple days, 3-4 days, we'll be able to install the mount here. In the meantime, I'll probably start working on the electrical over there. So again, here is what we're doing. So we are disconnecting this unit here, okay, and this is going into my shed over there. Now we're replacing it with a 4 zone, okay. So one zone will be a bedroom behind this wall, and that will be 18,000 BTUs. Now this is 9, and it's more than plenty for heating and cooling. But you know, I'm already putting a big unit in there. And the reason I went with 3 ton because it has a lot more heating capacity. And what I'm gonna do is heat this room, which is about 600 square feet, and the room over there, which is about 250 square feet. So that's gonna be a 1 ton, 12,000 BTU zone. This is gonna be 18. And over there, the second floor, the AC, the cold air, doesn't go down. It goes, I mean, doesn't go up. It falls down. And so the second floor is always hot in the summer. So I will add a 3rd zone, which will be a 9,000 BTUs, and that will be for pretty much only cooling of the upstairs, because there's so much heat generated over here by this 9,000 BTU unit that it's a lot of it rises, and like the upstairs is super warm. Now, don't be confused by the 9,000. It actually has 22,000 heating BTUs. So 9,000 is only cooling, but the heating is 22,000 BTUs. So it's very powerful and compact and super efficient. So yeah, all the units I installed are all Fujitsus. This is also Fujitsu, but the reason why this is a lower efficiency than that one, so this is a floor mounted unit, like a radiator replacement type. And it's also extra low heat, so will heat in -15 Fahrenheit, and so will that one. And so will the big unit here, it's also extra low heat. But because it's a floor unit, it's lower efficiency. That's how Fujitsu makes them. Alright guys, so thanks for watching. The next step will be to install a mounting bracket and the electricity, well, the stand. Basically, it's not a mounting bracket like that, it's a stand, because I didn't want to put 300 pounds on the wall. Even though it's 2x6, I just didn't trust it. So that's why I'm putting it on the floor. But it's also a 24-inch high stand, so there will be plenty of space for the snow to be under the unit. And I might even raise it a little bit, maybe put like a couple of spacers, maybe build up more of a concrete over here just to raise the stand, maybe to give it like 2.5 feet off the ground. But we'll see. 2 feet is, I feel like it's enough. Alright, thanks for watching, and we'll continue soon. Oh, so while this is curing and we're doing all the other stuff, so this is our bedroom again, and we need heat in there. So what I will do is I'll run all the pipes upstairs, second room, or upstairs in our bedroom, and all the electricity. I'll do all the connections, and only after that I will take off this guy. I'll take off those pipes and I'll remove the indoor unit, and then I'll run new pipes, new line set, and connect it here, so we can have heat as long as we can in the bedroom. Okay, continue soon. Alright YouTube, so our pudding has dried for a couple days, so let's take off the form, and now we're waiting for the stand. Once the stand gets here, what I want to do is I want to build it up even more. So once I measure where the stand legs will be sitting, I'm going to put a couple of rebars and basically pour a next layer of concrete about 8 inches up from the ground. This way we're going to have about 32 inches from the ground. That's where the mini split itself will be sitting. So it's not sitting in the snow, because there is a base pan heater on the bottom, and you don't want basically ice to build up from any condensation that's building underneath the heat pump. And what we're also going to do, I'll show you, we'll build some kind of a little roof overhang from the top over there, so that snow doesn't sit on the unit. Although I think that will take will take a while for me to get to. But we can just basically put 2 posts over here on the corners, do them up, and just like a small overhang on the top. Anyway, so let's take this apart. Oh, it's still curing over there. Interesting. goes to the side. There's our footing. So it's pretty leveled, I hope. Where's my level? It's not bad. Okay, so it's slanted ever so slightly to the back, but I'll show you it's fairly level. And you can adjust the legs. Understand? And so this way, it's fully leveled. Again, I mean, this is not super smooth surface, so it could be like a little imperfection, but overall it's leveled nice and solid. Here you go, guys. That's our footing for a 300-pound ductless heat pump that will be installed on top of it. Okay, let's continue once we get the stand and we start building it up even more. Alright guys, let me show you up close. So the unit is sitting in there, it's not going anywhere, we just need to tighten these bolts. It's a little less space than I would want to, especially with my big belly, but I guess it's enough. Specifically, I can actually remove these railings here if I really need more space, but we have about a foot in the back, even more than a foot. This guy is actually bigger than I thought. So we have 4 zones. This is a 1/2 inch and quarter. And this is 3/8 and quarter, 3/8 and quarter, 3/8 and quarter. So the way this works is you put the biggest unit on the bottom, and then as they get smaller, you move them up. Okay, so what's weird is why this is 1/2 inch, and the other side is, because technically you could do 2 18,000 BTU heads on this guy, so that would be 36, but then the second 18,000 BTU head would have to go on the 3/8 line, which is weird, but yeah, anyway. So we're putting an 18 over here, a 12, and a 9. Okay, and the 9 is just for air conditioning on the second floor. And it will go right over there with the vent is. We'll go just inside that small attic and come out on the side of the second floor. So the 18 will go over here, and the 12 will go into that bedroom upstairs. So this is nice. Okay, so this is 40 amp maximum breaker. Where's the electrical? I don't even see the electrical. It's probably behind the cover, but 40 amp. And so that outlet, I mean that disconnect right now, it's on a 15 amp breaker. Okay, but the wire that comes in there is actually for a 40 amp. It's 8 gauge, and so we will just swap back. We'll disconnect that small unit over there and take its power supply and bring it here, and just replace the breaker to the 40 amp for this unit. There was again one, the central AC here. It's now over there on the truck, ready to be recycled. And that was 40 amp. And now, okay. So, alright, time to tighten all the bolts and nuts. And we'll go from there. So, quick thing, this blue coating, it basically to prevent corrosion. And not all of them have it, actually. See, there's no blue coating on this one, although it's also Fujitsu. And no blue coating here. And that's the highest efficiency unit. But yeah, so the only thing I don't like about this unit is the plastic grill on the front. I really like this metal, which shows the big opening, and it looks like a lot more, not professional, but presentable. The plastic grill makes it just look cheap. Yeah, anyway, so as far as C rating, so you see 18 through 20 C rating. So what that means is that 18 is if you go ducted, so you have like a ceiling cassette that basically concealed duct, so that can be ducted into 2 rooms or whatever, and so the rating drops because you actually lose some efficiency in the ducts. But if you go indoor units, like normal indoor units on the wall or on the floor, you get 20R, or I mean 20 SEER, and that's pretty respectable. Now keep in mind that average air conditioner out there right now is about 10 SEER, and the minimum for new one is 13, and the typical that gets installed is like 14 or 16. And that SEER rating is once again at the indoor evap coil, not at the actual outlet in the room. So then you lose about 25% of that SEER rating in the ducts. So it's a 16 SEER unit is effectively a 12 SEER unit because you lose so much cooling in the ducts. Okay, so the HSPF, you can see we'll use the higher end because we will use the wall unit, 10.3. This guy is 12. That's 14. So this is less efficient, but it still has a pretty tremendous heating capacity. That one is super efficient, and this one is very efficient. So you can see 26 here, 33 here, right there, and this is a measly 20, but you know, compared to what's out there, it's awesome. Okay guys, so we will continue in the next step where we run the line sets and install all the indoor units. And in the end, what we will do is we will take out this guy, and I will go in my shed later, put this one in its place, and we'll have to redo the piping. I really don't want to do it, but have to do it. Okay. So please click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I will publish this in steps or in stages. So this will get published, and as I work, I'll publish more videos. So come back for more on this installation, and I will show you the actual procedures on how to connect all the flares, all the line sets, and how to pull a vacuum on this big boy, how to charge it, because there is only a charge for 50 feet. We're gonna be way over that. So I'm gonna show you how to charge this guy, and electrical, all of that good stuff, indoor units as well. So a lot to learn, a lot to watch. So, and there's definitely not that many videos that show multi-zone systems being installed. It's all like one zone, but multi-zone gets really complicated. Not as complicated as Mitsubishi, but because that uses branch boxes. At least here we don't need to use branch box. I mean, there is an advantage to that. You don't need to run too many line sets to the outdoor unit. But anyway, so we'll continue soon. Click like if you enjoyed this, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you later.